all, just wanted to let you know, if you want to hear our additional observations, rants, and writing changes, you can find the full version of this video over on Patreon. Let's get into it.
So we're revisiting the fear of death. She admits she still struggles with it, despite it being a Jedi thing. Also, you know, she's learning Force visions, right? Like she's learning about using her Jedi powers some more and honing that skill. Okay, moving on to episode 7 of season 3. For season 3, episode 7, Assassin, we wrote down, in a meeting with the council, Anakin is given his next mission and Ahsoka is told she won't be joining him. As he goes to board his ship, she tells, not asks, tells him to take her with him anyway, blatantly disregarding the orders of the council. Anakin, this time, doesn't follow her orders. Later, in the archive room, Ahsoka gripes to herself, I should be out there fighting, not in here studying, showing childish behavior as well as again displaying her lust for violence. This episode is kind of split into two Ahsokas. Before she gets what she wants, she's a whiny brat, and then after she gets what she wants, she's the poster child for maturity. When confronting Zero the Hutt, Ahsoka says, I believe you hired Aura Singh, right before claiming that Aura told her everything. This assumptive language/tone could have easily tipped off Zero that she was bluffing, and after Zero outs himself, Ahsoka, with a very self-satisfied demeanor, states that he can expect a very long stay in his prison surroundings. This show of satisfaction towards someone else's pain is a very clear violation of the Jedi Code.
There's a large-scale civil war on Baelith.
I've never been to Baelith.
You will stay here, Padawan. We need your full report.
With the fixed version, I don't really have a problem with that up until her, super disappointed look at the end.
Yeah, I would alter her expression slightly. But other than that, I don't have an issue with it.
I wasn't against her being disappointed. I guess, to me, it comes off as pouty. I don't like the pouty, right? Because it's like, yeah, maybe you don't want to write a report, but you should, if you're military, you should understand your position and the responsibilities that come with that. So I don't want to see pouty, but yeah, being disappointed that she can't go to this place she's never been before. But again, it's like, oh, goody, let's go into a large-scale civil war. That sounds like fun, because it's not like she's sightseeing the planet that she's never been to before. They're going there to deal with war. You could potentially just change the tone instead of like, oh, I've never been to Baelith. It's kind of like, oh, Baelith, I've never been to Baelith, right? So it's not like, oh, I get to see a new place. It's kind of like, oh, have I been there? No, I haven't been there before.
Yeah, that works.
I sense you're uneasy. What is it?
Nothing.
Oh, look, lying again.
Oh, wow, we missed that.
If I'm not with you, who else will have your back?
Finish your studies. Get some rest.
Stay out of trouble.
She pulls that, oh, well, who will have your back if I'm not there line out of her rear end. But what if we had the council actually kind of hype up a bit that it's pretty dangerous and stuff like that, so that she actually says that line and it's legitimate, right? Like she's walking with him and it's not written all over her body, right? But maybe there's a little bit of a tell that she's maybe a little bit stiffer, or I think she had that kind of holding her one arm with the other arm kind of thing as she was walking. And then he can say, hey, I sense you're uneasy. What is it? And instead of lying to him, she's like, I'm worried about you. I wish I could have your back. And then he's like, no, I'll be okay. Name of other character will be there. We'll be fine. You stay here, rest, catch up on your studies, and stay out of trouble.
She will die. And there's nothing that you can do.
Do we want to change the message that Aura gives her? I just feel like it's so on the nose. Maybe the first one, she doesn't actually see Aura Singh, but she hears her voice. It's more I don't know. I feel like you could play around with the visions to make them a little more interesting.
Premonitions. Telling you something. They are.
I believe that Aura Singh isn't dead. She's still alive. and she's preparing to kill someone close to me.
I think I would simply have her say, I see Aura sing, and she's telling me that someone is going to die. And then as they kind of talk, Yoda's kind of like, well, maybe these dreams are telling you that she's not actually dead, right? Like maybe these visions are coming to you because it's someone close to you who is being targeted. Or like, maybe he doesn't necessarily say it, but like he gets her to come to those conclusions, but he kind of like coaches her through it.
These should help you with your studies, dear.
Study. I should be out there fighting, not in here studying.
Literally just cut out that line.
She doesn't say thank you.
Well, she does smile, but then yeah.
But you could have her say thank you.
Literally, like, Jocasta takes 2 steps away, and Ahsoka's like, oh, I don't want to be here studying. It's like, oh, okay, she's old, but she's probably not deaf, you moron.
They have this thing here, right? Oh, she's just so bored studying that she's falling asleep at her desk. So would we even have this scene happen where it is, or would we move it somewhere else?
She had that vision last night, so yeah, it could have interfered with her sleep, so it's reasonable for her to be tired.
I think what I would have done then in that case is have, when she wakes up from her other one, because it's bright out when she wakes up, so I'd have it be darker so that it's clear, like, this is the middle of the night, right? And now her sleep's getting interrupted, and you maybe even add like an extra half second of her like laying back down and like turning, trying to get back to sleep, looking anxious.
Even like before the vision starts, I'd show her kind of tossing and turning in her sleep.
Senator Amidala,
Ahsoka, it's so good to see you.
I've been having dreams. Bad dreams. Padme, I know you're in danger.
Captain, please take all necessary precautions. Ahsoka, the refugee situation is much too crucial to ignore.
Yes, Senator.
Ahsoka's like, oh, well, I've been having dreams, but I know you're in danger. And it's like, okay, why don't you just call them premonitions or visions?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Like what Yoda's
to come in there and be like, oh, I'm having bad dreams. You're not allowed to go anywhere because you're in danger. Okay, they're dreams. Are you serious?
Yeah, and especially after her conversation with Yoda, where he's like, yeah, these are premonitions, you're seeing through the Force.
Exactly.
And you have to kind of hone that.
Also, like, at the end of that scene there, Padme's like, well, I have to go. And Ahsoka just straight up shakes her head, like right in front of Padme. And it's like,
right after Padme has told her this is really important refugee crisis going on.
Yeah, like that's hella rude.
I can't believe you're not listening to my dreams.
So yeah, just take out the stupid head shake.
Because like, yeah, after she has that vision in the library, I don't have a problem with her being like, Amidala's in danger. And then she goes to see her, and then she explains that she's been having visions, and she believes that she's in danger, that there's a bounty hunter after her. And then Padme's like, okay, well, take all necessary precautions. And she's like, oh, you're going somewhere? And she's like, yeah, we have this, really important thing. I called this conference. I've got to go. And then, yeah, I guess Ahsoka's just like, oh, okay. It's out of my hands. I told them they'll try to be prepared.
I am sure now that it is Senator Amidala who is in danger.
Wait, so you weren't sure, but you were like, I know you're in danger. So would we kind of flip that scene around then? Like, she wakes up and she's like, I think Senator Amidala is in danger. And then she's kind of like, okay, well, Yoda said I need to meditate, practice. So then she leaves the library. She goes back to her room and meditates, and then she goes to see Padme and is like, hey, I know you're in danger.
Yeah, no, these scenes feel completely out of order.
And then because Padme's like, okay, well, thanks for the heads up, we're going. And then she goes to Yoda because she's like, what should I do?
I can't just stay behind knowing about the threat to your life. Allow me to come with you, please.
I enjoy your company.
Why?
Of course, you can join me. As extra security.
This whole relationship between Ahsoka and Padme, and like again, it's something that just hasn't been set up.
They worked together in the Blue Shadow Virus arc in season 1. I think that's the only other time that we've seen them together. And the way we fixed it, they actually did have a bit of a connection there, because Padme kind of helped her get through facing the reality of her own mortality. So yeah, Padme teaches her it's okay to be afraid and helps her come to terms with self-sacrifice, right? And if anything, this kind of plays into that again, right? This is Padme. So when Padme's like, okay, we're going to take the necessary precautions, but I'm still going, I would have Ahsoka kind of smile and kind of like an I appreciate the person who you are smile. Because yeah, I think it's really beautiful that like Padme is like that she is so about her cause. She's like, this is bigger than me. So maybe a bit of a forced smile, because it's like, okay, like I love this about you, but you're in danger. But yeah, and then so she goes talks to Yoda, she comes here. The other thing I noticed is when she's running up, she's like, oh, Senator Amidala, and she's referring to her all formally. And then Padme's like, oh yeah, you can come along. And then she's like, oh, thanks, Padme.
It's kind of the same thing with Chuchi all over again.
Yeah.
This weird formality, we're close friends. Well,
yeah,
you don't sound like it. You don't act like it. On Padme's end, yes, but on yours?
Yeah,
what?
no, Padme's definitely coming off as much more friendly than Ahsoka. So I don't mind that so much, but I would rather have it that, like, she's like, oh, thank you, Senator. And then Padme's like, it's okay, just call me Padme. And so then, yeah, this episode here would be creating that friendship, right? Because, yeah, they spent time together in the Blue Shadow Virus, but, like, I don't think we really set it up that, you know, they became friends. It was more so that, like, you know, they kind of got to know each other, and Ahsoka has a lot of respect and appreciation toward Padme. But then, yeah, in this video, you could episode, you could take it the next step where, you know, like Padme's kind of like, hey, you know, we can kind of be friends. And so then Ahsoka's like, yay, because this person who I look up to is like, hey, let's be friends.
If you want to help support the channel, give this video a like and subscribe and leave a comment below. And if you want, become a patron, because it would be appreciated. I love how Padme's all like, oh, I enjoy your company. And then we see Ahsoka acting like this.
I've been mostly unsure about my abilities on my own. Usually Master Skywalker is there to guide me.
When I was queen, I felt the same insecurities as you do now.
One more game?
Absolutely.
What would we be putting in here instead of insecurity? Because,
well, first things first, I would change Ahsoka's attitude so that she's actually happy spending time with Padme and just taking a break. Because, yeah, she's fulfilling what Anakin told her to do. She's taking time to relax. And even better, she's spending it with Padme.
Yeah, she's kind of like catching up with Padme. Like, I would maybe have it open the scene. They are playing that game, and Padme is, regaling her with stories of when she was queen. And yeah, like, Ahsoka's just kind of appreciating getting to know her better. Maybe Ahsoka shares something of her own experiences too, right? Like, it doesn't have to be long, just like a little bits, and then it's kind of like, oh yeah, one more game, right? Because like the game is the excuse to keep chatting, or you know, maybe Ahsoka loses, and so Padme kind of teases her, and Ahsoka's like, well, you were distracting me, and, you know, or something like that. And so then she's like, okay, well then, best 2 out of 3. If you make it a higher number, then it shows that they've already played a few rounds, right? But we had for Lethal Trackdown, part of the thing was that she had to deal with the weight of thinking that she'd killed Aura Singh. But yeah, now she's suddenly like, oh, Aura Singh might not be dead. So now she kind of has to deal with that reality, right? Like, I thought I killed this person, but now they're alive, so should I be happy? Like, that I didn't kill somebody, but like, well, it's part and parcel of the job, right? So like,
Yeah,
you know,
that would
and
be a
now
really
they're a
interesting
danger and
conversation for them to have.
yeah, because
So-
and that would still kind of bring in Padme talking about, like, you know, I had to make these really tough decisions as queen, and I wasn't always confident that I was making the right choice. Instead of having a lighthearted scene, then you'd have a more serious tone. But you know, it still works, right?
It's begun.
Ahsoka.
Stay down! False alarm.
In the reaction video, you brought up the fact that you have night terrors, and so you can kind
Yeah,
of...
no, it definitely gives me a night terrors vibe. There's no doubt about that. Because the first time I had a night terror, I was convinced that it was real. I guess we can keep it, but maybe I would change the ending of it, that she doesn't just like, oh, sorry, both of them, I'm leaving. Like, the first time I had a night terror, it took me a long time to calm down. It didn't take like 2 minutes, especially because when I woke up and I could no longer see the thing that had frightened me, I was sure that it had just gone inside my bed or beside the bed or whatever, right? And so in this case, right, like, yeah, she runs into the room, she's like, Aura's here, don't worry, I'll protect you. And then I would actually have her be like, you know, send guards, you know, check, and I'm sure she was here, right? And then like maybe kind of imply that it's been like, you know, several minutes, maybe a guard comes back and is like, okay, we haven't found anything, right? And Padme's like, Ahsoka, are you sure? And then Ahsoka's kind of like, but it was so real. Like, I saw her. I thought I saw her here on the ship. Okay. And then Padme kind of like talks her down. And then, yeah, maybe Ahsoka just decides, you know, like, okay, well, maybe I should just, you know, go back and meditate. Yeah, it just kind of bothers me that she, like, they show her like a crazy person, and then all of a sudden she's just like, oh, never mind. Either you're convinced and it takes some time to like calm you down, because like, yeah, once I got used to having the night terrors, it didn't take as long. But if this is her first time, I would expect it to carry on a little longer.
It's kind of a weird place to just sit down and start
Sit and
meditating.
meditate.
Yeah.
Maybe we would put this after she says she's gonna go and meditate.
I haven't lost faith in you, Ahsoka.
It was a large room. You were giving a speech.
I think I would have that line from Padme, like, before Ahsoka leaves to go meditate, then Padme's like, hey, you know, I haven't lost faith in you. Then we don't show the meditation, so then they get here, they go inside, Ahsoka's kind of looking around, and maybe they pass the room where it's going to happen, and the door is open, and Ahsoka kind of looks in, and then she stops, and then she takes a few steps inside and looks around, and she's like, oh, and so then she runs back out, runs up to Padme, and she's like, Padme, I think the attack on your life is planned for tonight. Last night I saw a location. I saw more than usual. I saw a location, and that room back there.
Where would the assassin be?
That's the part I'm not sure of.
Does Aura succeed?
I can't tell.
Again, like we talked about this in the reaction video, where like Ahsoka's not using simple deductive skills for some reason.
They ask her, you know, where's the assassin? Well, I don't know. And, you know, does she succeed? Well, I don't know. But she saw both those things, right? If anything, I would have her say, I'm not certain where Aura is going to be, right? Like, because yeah, she wouldn't necessarily know, like, because she's not familiar with the building. You could have her say, oh, I'll take a look around, but when Padme's like, does she succeed? And she has very clearly seen Padme like lying on the ground, and people like over top of her like, oh my goodness, are you okay? Right? Like, yeah, she doesn't know if she's dead, but like, she knows that she succeeds in hitting her. So it's like, on the one hand, it's like, okay, maybe she doesn't want to scare her. But on the other hand, the whole time she's been like, you're in danger. You shouldn't be doing this. This is super scary. So why doesn't she just tell her, yeah, you get shot? Maybe like, she's like, does she succeed? And she's like, she shoots you. I don't know if she kills you. If anything, that adds an extra level of weight to it. Because now Padme knows that like, she could die. Then the fact that Padme still decides to go through with it, again, speaks volumes of her character.
Isn't it just beautiful? I'm no stranger to taking risks.
I would maybe have it that Padme's out there and enjoying the thing, right? Because, yeah, Ahsoka just told her she might die. And so then Ahsoka, comes up behind her. She's like, hey, are you okay? And Padme's like, I'm no stranger to taking risks. Maybe even have her say, like, if this is going to be my last day, then I'm going to enjoy living it.
And again, it's kind of like a callback to what we set up in the Blue Shadow Virus arc, right? She's not afraid of death, and in that she is teaching Ahsoka not to fear death.
Yeah, you could even have Ahsoka kind of chip in, right? Like, when we were back on Naboo and in the bunker, right? Like I was so scared and you really helped me. And maybe she refers, Master Yoda teaches that, like, we're not supposed to be afraid of death, and I try to live that. But you're just so good at it, right? Like, and then maybe kind of have Padme say, like, it's not that I'm not afraid. It's just that this is just really important to me, and I need to see this through. But yeah, kind of show that, like, Ahsoka has been taking this Jedi mentality and trying to live it out, but inside she's still kind of struggling with it, right?
An army both encourage.
She doesn't say anything.
Doesn't say anything.
She say anything?
I think I have a way we can get around putting you in jeopardy and have you attend the conference.
Why couldn't
it's
they have her head of security suggest the plan?
Yeah, he's not even in the room. Like, why?
I think the way I'd have it is, Ahsoka notifies the guards, take us off.
The security guard could start to approach Padme, but then Padme kind of like sees him, knows what he's trying to do, and she actually kind of like holds a hand up like, no, I'm going to finish this. So then he comes and stands by her in the hope that he can throw himself in front of her in time. Because you could either have it that the combination of Ahsoka kind of pushing Aura and the guard, grabbing for Padme to block her, she still gets shot in the shoulder, or you could have it that Ahsoka comes a second too late, but the guard is close enough that he's able to protect most of Padme, but she still gets hit in the shoulder.
Aura's not here.
What do you mean she's not here?
Now she's actually communicating with him.
She's not in this room.
She wasn't in the room before either.
Our soldiers can feel
And then she takes off again.
Why the hell was no one with Padme in this room?
Even if the head of security goes with the decoy to, like, sell the ruse, keep some normal guards with Padme. Good duh.
No.
Wow. Aura shoots her in the arm. She doesn't even have a bandage later, but she did a whole like, I've been shot. Oh, I'm so injured. And then later in the series in season 5, she gets shot, but then she has a bandage that time. And that time it probably should have taken her whole arm off because it was a shot from a cannon. Like,
so much freaking plot armor.
But it's also complete inconsistency. 1 second she's getting shot and it's like, oh no, I've been so injured, except that I haven't. And then the next is like, oh, I haven't been injured, except that I have.
What if we post the guards outside the door and Ahsoka goes running in, alerts the guards, but she just says, oh, Padme's in danger. She doesn't say, oh, Aura's in the vents. So the guards are kind of like, okay, where is she? Where is she? Ahsoka jumps in front of Padme, starts deflecting blaster bolts. But Aura gets a hit on her almost immediately. So she goes down, and then the guards are just starting to aim at her position. She takes them out. Maybe at that point, because, she's assuming Padme's unarmed, she comes down out of the vent to kind of gloat over how, I finally paid you back, you stupid Padawan. and then Padme pulls out her stun gun and shoots her.
I was also thinking that maybe instead of having Ahsoka in the conference room with the head of security, she's outside in the hallway, so that if Aura was going to be in the upper levels again or something like that, or maybe she's just in the back of the room by the door, but either which way so that she can move faster. But at best she could signal the guard, but then obviously he's much further behind her, or she's not able to signal him or communicate with him or something, and then so she's just got to go by herself. But then we have those two guards outside Padme's room. But you could have it that like we don't even see, because if they're outside Padme's room, then Aura could take them out from the vent before Ahsoka even gets there. We don't even have to show that. We can just show Ahsoka running in and the guards are on the floor in front of the door, and then Ahsoka just runs in past them and protects Padme, and then the rest of it kind of plays out essentially kind of the same. So maybe she pulls her down, then she tells her to stand down, but Aura's just like and then she locks the door while she's kind of pulling out her other pistol, and then she starts firing at Ahsoka right away. Ahsoka gets hit, but Padme has pulled out her stun gun, and boom. Yeah, you could have it that Ahsoka was in the back of the room, so she was able to signal the head of security, so then he's breaking in right as that kind of comes to an end. That was hard to figure out.
Yeah.
I was having a lot of trouble with that.
I was kind of expecting that this episode wouldn't give us too much trouble, but yeah, that was surprisingly hard to sort out.
But I think we did a good job of having both drama and sensibility.
There you go.
It can be done. It's just another kind of example that like with just a little bit extra effort, TCW could have been so good, but they didn't put in that extra effort. Oh, she's holding her arm, but not bandaged, no mark.
Just give her a freaking bandage on her arm.
I hear bizarre laughter.
Would we get rid of her bizarre laughter line?
Yeah, doesn't make sense to me. I think I would have Anakin obviously ask both girls if they're okay, because he can see that both are bandaged.
Oh, did he not ask Padme if she was okay?
He asked Padme, but not Ahsoka.
Oh.
No, if it had been the other way, I would be screaming.
You just guaranteed yourself an extra long vacation in this lovely establishment.
You could probably just cut this and just add to the previous scene, like, we'll make sure that his stay gets extended. Because I was gonna say, like, what is the point of Anakin and Ahsoka coming here to do this, right? Like, anybody could do this. Clones could do this. We already confirmed that it was Zero who did it. Like, we don't need to have him say, oh, I did it.
Again, treating the audience like they're stupid. So yeah, I'd have Anakin say, oh, we'll ensure he has an extra long stay at the end of the last scene. And voila, and there.
Before we stop the recording, what all are the lessons that we're... So we're revisiting the fear of death. She admits she still struggles with it, despite it being a Jedi thing. Also, she learning Force visions, right? Like, she's learning about using her Jedi powers some more and honing that skill.
So anyway, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Please do everything indicated, and we'll see you in the next video, which episode is that?
The next episode is the delightful
Heroes on Both Sides, right?
on Both Sides.
Oh my goodness, no!
Yes, yes, where
Not
we get to introduce the fabulous Luxoka ship and deal with the ever so brilliant and deep nuance of things not being so black and white and all of this. I hate everything.
Yep, same.
There you go. Tune in next time. Be there or be square.
You don't want to be
See
square,
you
do you?
round. No.
Everyone
everyone
wants to be round, not square.
Yes, around.
You
You
all
want to
wanna
be
come in here
around.
looking
for
like a
our
Minecraft person. But yeah, don't be square. Be there.
Don't be square. Be around
Yeah.
to see our awesome content.
Or else.